defending President Trump's use of the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine has been a drug that has been in use for 65 years for lupus, arthritis, and malaria. It has a very good safety profile, but the FDA has approved this for off-label use. You know, this president's a big believer in right-to-try legislation.
Veterans Affairs Secretary Wilkie says the VA will continue to offer the medication to COVID-19 patients despite all the criticism, and the VA Secretary, Robert Wilkie, joins us now to talk about it. Sir, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. You know, the media has been all over this story. They're pointing to these studies that say, you know, the chloroquine is unproven against COVID and that it could kill you. What is your response to that?
Well, I think it's nonsense, and I'll echo what the president said the other day. I think it's more aimed at President Trump than it is against the science, because as we speak, Dr. Fauci and his institute are conducting very detailed clinical trials of this. And I would also underline the fact that hydroxychloroquine is the 128th most used drug in this country. And we've seen it work in many settings across America. And our goal at VA is to do everything we can to preserve and prolong life. I mentioned at the cabinet meeting that wasn't even a VA study that the press has been touting. That was something that researchers took and used VA numbers, didn't even look at any of the underlying medical conditions, and really misrepresented what was going on at VA. We used it with veterans who were in the last hours of life in the hopes that it would prolong that life, and we will continue to do that under FDA guidelines, which we have been following religiously.
Okay, so that study, so people are clear right now, that study is being, you know, broadcast all over different networks and all over online, and it's stating that it is a VA study, and it's stating that there are more deaths among those given hydroxychloroquine versus standard care. You're saying that was not a VA study, that you guys didn't have anything to do with that, just to be clear on that, correct?
No, and I'll tell you, it was reviewed, it wasn't clinically reviewed or peer reviewed, it was gone over by 3 ophthalmologists. Now, I like ophthalmology, but I'm not going to turn to ophthalmologists to review studies on infectious diseases. So I think this was more aimed at taking a hit at the president than it was science.
You know, here's the president's doctor. I think a lot of people, you know, think that the president just pulled this out under the sink and started taking it, but he did have to get it from a doctor, and a very good one as well. Here is that doctor. After numerous discussions he and I had regarding the evidence for and against the use of hydroxychloroquine, we concluded the potential benefit from treatment outweighed the relative risks. Should it end there? I mean, the doctor that works on the president is probably very competent, and he says this is okay.
Yes, absolutely. We're not going to take risks with the life of the President of the United States. And the President has been very clear to us to do everything we can. The Congress passed right-to-try legislation to give Americans a choice when it comes to very